Arizona. Spring training 2015 continues. The days are dwindling. It is a perfect night for baseball. The Rockies on the road taking on their rivals from the NL West, the San Diego Padres, tonight at the Peoria Sports Complex. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're along, as always, with Jeff Hewson. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, I don't think there's a team in baseball that underwent a bigger facelift in the offseason than the San Diego Padres.
Really, AJ came in, the new GM, and just said, I need to clean house. And so the Rockies tonight are going to get their first real look with the opening day lineup for the Padres that they're going to throw out there tonight. So it's going to be a fun matchup.
Well, complete with their new ace, if you will. Big game James Shields comes over from Kansas City. He pitched deep into October. The Rockies will send their opening day starter, Kyle Kendrick, to the hill.
It's going to be fun for Kyle Kendrick because he's gearing up for his opening day start.
Absolutely. And for those folks that are not as familiar with the former Philly, here's what you can expect from Kyle Kendrick.
I'm going to battle. I'm going to, give every game I pitch, I'm going to obviously pitch to win. I'm not going to, I don't think anybody really wants to have a guy out there that's going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to work from, my teammates, and just try to, give 100% and try to, pitch as deep as a starter, pitch as deep in the game as I can, and, give us a chance to win. I think that's what we're all out there for, just to win the game, and, that's what I hope I plan on doing.
And really build off of what he did last year, because he set a career high in games and inning pitched and strikeouts, and he's looking forward to being that guy come April 6th in Milwaukee. Tough task tonight because he's going to be going up against big game James Shields, and nobody has pitched more innings since 2007 than this horse right here. We remember watching him last year in Kansas City, and he is a handful.
He is a handful, and he has taken over a leadership role in that clubhouse. Good lineups for both teams. Tulo and Cargo on the road in Peoria tonight as well. Should be a lot of fun. Cactus League Baseball, Rockies and Padres. Come on back to the desert with us. Little Friday night baseball from Peoria, Arizona. The Rockies played about 10 miles north of here last night when they were up in Surprise, taking on the Texas Rangers. Tonight against the San Diego Padres. Two good lineups. A lot of players you expect to see on opening day out there for both teams. Let's take a look at the Rockies lineup tonight in Peoria. Charlie Blackmon, who led off so frequently last year and figures to most of the time this year, is in the lineup tonight. He's got a home run this spring, hitting .250. Here's the rest of the lineup. And you know Walt Weiss is playing with this deal. He's having Tulowitzki split up the two lefties. He'll bat in the two-hole. Cargo's been in that two-hole spot a bunch this spring as well. The baby bull, Willeen Rosario, will bat cleanup. Brandon Barnes in left field 5th. Rafael Inoa will bat 6th. And Nick Hundley will be the opening day catcher, the former Padre. The pitcher again batting 8th. Walt's done this several times. DJ LeMahieu will bat 9th. And it's an opportunity to get the guys at the top of the order who have a lot of thump, an opportunity perhaps with an extra base runner aboard. James Shields, we were just bragging on him. He's had an unbelievable spring. Last time out, he didn't give up a hit.
Oh, I know, and you look at the number of innings and strikeouts, 16 strikeouts, 12 innings. They say he's in midseason form already, but does that really surprise you? Because he's thrown at least 225 innings the last 4 years in a row.
You know, sometimes, Huey, to your point, we throw around the term horse, but this guy fits it. I mean, he takes the baseball 32, 33 times a year. It's always over 200 innings, one of the most durable starters in the game. And he's terrific in the clubhouse. Here's the 0-1. Cutters inside.
And that's the thing when James Shields came over here talking to everybody with the Padres that we have today when we got here, they could not rave about this guy enough, saying what he's done for the young pitchers and the work ethic that he's shown.
That fastball is too tall, and it is a count of 2-1 on Charlie Blackmon. Outfield shaded a little bit toward left center field, and that ball is roped to right. He got the bat head out and strokes a single off Shields, so there will not be a no-hitter tonight for James Shields. He had pitched 6 innings straight in spring training without giving up a hit. Here are the Padres defensively, and you get to look at all the new faces. They're familiar names, just not as Padres. Justin Upton from Atlanta. Cameron Maybin's in center field, but opening day, it's going to be Will Myers. Matt Kemp down from the Dodgers. Will Middlebrooks from Boston. Amarista Jerko return. Yonder Alonso's a holdover. Derek Norris down from Oakland. And, of course, James Shields from the American League pennant-winning Kansas City Royals. Here's Tulowitzki.
Quick feet from James Shields.
Well, I think the really good ones, Jeff, do everything well. They hold runners well.
You're right. They've learned that that's going to help them too.
On the outside corner, a strike on Troy. Big spring training for Tulowitzki, 375. He's hit 3 out of the ballpark. Glove work has been outstanding, moving around great.
And that's the key, moving around great. There's no limitations. You don't feel like if he makes a twist or turn that something's going to happen. We've seen some plays where he's made them, had to spin and throw and do everything that we're accustomed to seeing.
Listen, the bottom line with him is he's done everything humanly possible to prepare himself, as he's done every year. And yes, he's coming off surgery. Just let it go. If something happens, it happens, but it's not because he wasn't prepared. That'll never be the case with Troy Tulowitzki. 1-2.
Kind of fun to see him hitting second. This is the Walt just tinkering with the lineup, just figuring out is it the best possible combinations.
Well, Walt, when everybody's healthy, what a luxury. I mean, you have so many tools to work with. Buddy Black, of course, last couple of years, he's trying to piece together and maybe force a guy who should be hitting 7th or 8th, and he's in an RBI spot. But it'll change this year, obviously, for Bud Black. But, for Walt, I mean, look at all the combinations you can go with the first 6, 7 hitters in the lineup.
And he said, I'm not going to put what used to be prototypical number 2 hitter, where you're going to bunt and hit to the right side. No, if we're going to slug, we're going to slug. We're going to hit it out of the ballpark or hit it in the gap.
Blackmon, who stole 20-plus bags last year. And Tulo fouls it back over our location. So it remains 1-2. Charlie, the last couple of off seasons, has worked with a track coach down in the Atlanta area. He wants to have a higher success rate this year than he did a year ago.
Yeah, and that's anything over 75%. That's the benchmark. But that first step as a base stealer is so important. You know, some guys run well underway. Other guys, if they get off that first step.
This gets away, and Blackmon's going to move up. And then Yonder Alonso nearly threw it into left field.
Trying to be too quick was James Shield. Threw it in the dirt over to first to Alonso. Wasn't going. He just had a great size lead, about 13, 14 feet off the bag.
So the error will be on Shields. Swing there by Tulowitzki. Rockies fell yesterday in surprise by a final score of 6-3 against the Rangers. That snapped a 4-game winning streak. So the Padres have been a 500 club this spring training. But as we'll talk about as the evening unfolds, offensively, all the moves A.J. Preller made, at least paying off in March. There's a strikeout at Tulo. They're scoring a lot more runs than they did a year ago at this time.
Well, James Shields mentioned the innings he's pitched. He's also had the 5th most strikeouts in baseball since that time. When you're on the list with the Verlanders and the Felix Hernandez, Lincecum, Cole Hamels, almost a strikeout per inning pitched during that length from 2007 to last year.
Cargo takes an off-speed pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Cargo also a big spring. Hasn't hit one out yet. He's peppered the wall, though, a couple of times. He's hit those 1-irons all over the ballpark. I'm looking around, and it's a decent crowd. It's not by any stretch a big crowd, though the lawn in right center and left center is filled up nicely. They've drawn very, very well this spring, not only here in Peoria, but on the road. A lot of people want to see the Uptons and the Kemps and
they've already,
Middlebrooks in a new uniform.
Yeah, and they've already drawn more fans this year than they had last year, all the way through spring training.
0-2. Whoa, look out. And that goes off the glove of Derek Norris, and Blackmon now just jogs down to third base. So this is an easy RBI if you can get it in play for Cargo.
And that looked like the ejector button in the glove of Derek Norris.
Well, he's been known, and
right here, out. Nope.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's a play a catcher's got to make. And Derek Norris has been known throughout his young career as more of an offensive catcher and still a work in progress defensively.
Well, that showed it. But this helps Cargo. Runner in scoring position at third base. 1 out.
We were discussing this last week. Cargo, and you'll notice this, folks, as you watch him, he still lifts with the front leg, but it's not nearly as dramatic as in the past. It's a little more under control.
Well, and that keeps him from jumping towards the pitcher and settles the eyes down. If you get that leg so high up in the air, you have to get it back down into the ground before you can do anything. And it also takes some of the pressure off of that knee.
And the knee's far more stable. He could stay, and you can explain this in hitter's terms, on his backside. A year ago, he really couldn't.
No, because it was painful. Nobody likes to have pain in their leg or their foot. They get off it as soon as they can.
And that'll get the job done. A broken bat bouncer to second. So Cargo, so important there. Little things. Runner at third, and Cargo, who, he like a lot of power hitters, will strike out. He got the ball in play, and the Rockies have a run.
On the road. Those are the little ones on the road that you're going to have to manufacture runs. If they're going to give you the air to allow Charlie to move to second, you have the pass ball to get to third base, you have a broken bat that's splintered in about 100 pieces, but it's still an RBI.
Not an empty at bat. So the Rockies take a 1-0 lead with a little help from James Shields on an errant pickoff throw and then a wild pitch. I didn't see. Did they score a wild pitch or a pass ball?
I think it was a pass ball. I never heard. I was assuming. I wrote it down in my book as a pass ball because it clanked off his glove. Well, they did give him a wild pitch. I would have personally, if I'm scoring, saying that's a big league catcher that has to catch that ball.
2 outs, and Willeen Rosario swings and misses.
Either way, it's an RBI for Carlos.
Back-to-back starts for Willeen at first base. He was up in Surprise yesterday, went 0 for 4 playing first base. Made a diving stab last night. Real good play at first. Good numbers as well this spring offensively. He went around. It's a 2-strike, excuse me, a 1-2 count now. Or it's an 0-2 count. Don't look at the scoreboard sometimes in spring training.
Spring training for everybody.
And the curveball spikes in the dirt, 1-2. Still a lot of buzz around the Rockies after the performance yesterday at Chad Bettis. He really continues to open eyes as he makes the transition back to being a starter. Credit to all those young guys who stepped forward the last week, Huey. Butler and Gray and Bettis. That hits the bag, and it's handled nicely by Middlebrooks. Hit the bag and all of a sudden skidded along. Rockies get a run. Blackman a leadoff single, and Cargo brought him around with an RBI ground out. Cameron Maybin, who signed a big deal with the Padres a couple of years ago, and now he's in a battle to stay with the club as an extra outfielder. He's had a good spring, batting .316. Here's the rest of Bud Black's lineup tonight. Yonder Alonso will play first and bat second. Strange to see Matt Kemp in a Padre uniform. He'll bat third. Justin Upton back in the NL West, the former Diamondback and Atlanta Brave. Carlos Quentin's having a good spring. Will Middlebrooks over from Boston. Jed Jerko, Derek Norris, and Alexi Amarista. For the Padres, utilizing the DH, as you can do in spring training whenever you desire. Kyle Kendrick, 2-1. Last time we saw him, he was outstanding.
He was. He kept the ball down, moved it side to side, used that sinking fastball that he needs to. And I believe he's realizing, wait, I got Gold Glovers behind me. I don't need to try to strike everybody out, get early, quick outs, and let the offense then take over.
Kendrick 4 shutout innings as the Rockies took on Arizona in his last outing. Allowed 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Here's the 0-1 to Maybin. And that tails over what I thought was the outside corner. I guess not. 1 ball, 1 strike. Like that tweet from Mark Stat on Toyota Talk. Statter doing a little research, as he is known to do, and Kendrick in his big league debut, Boone Logan threw in that ball game also. Huh?
Teammates. You stick around long enough in this game, you're going to have a few of those from here to there and reconnect somewhere down the line.
This is a towering pop-up on the left side. And Rafael Noah makes the call and makes the catch, 1 out. Here are the Rockies defensively this evening. Beginning in the outfield, Brandon Barnes will be in left field. Barnes can play any of the outfield spots. Really, there's great versatility with all the Rockies outfield. You can say the same thing, obviously, for Cargo and Charlie Blackmon. Noah, Tulowitzki left side, LeMahieu, Rosario on the right side. And Nick Hundley, the former Padres, behind the plate. Yonder Alonso will step up.
Again, the Rockies pulling the shift tonight.
Saw a ton of it last night, and Inoa was the only one left on the left side of the infield. He couldn't get there, so it's a broken bat single for Alonso. Let's check our Sierra Post trading post, our Sierra Trading Post scouting report. I'll get the language correct. Well, the Padres were ridiculously busy in the offseason. In trades, they get Kemp, Upton, Middlebrooks, Derek Norris, Will Myers from Tampa. And then as free agents, they signed Shields, a 4-year, $75 million deal. Reportedly, Brandon Morrow from Toronto, the veteran catcher Will Nieves. Clint Barmas, our old friend, will be 36 as the season begins. Clint will be a backup up the middle for Bud Black. In fact, this is interesting. In a 24-hour window between December 18th and 19th, the Padres made a total of 30 transactions. That includes trades, signings. This ball's crushed to left center field. And it is going to touch down near the base of the wall for Kemp. And he'll jog into second with a double. But in that 24-hour period, the number of moves that they made was the most ever by a big league club in a 24-hour window. A.J. Preller, their new general manager.
So if you're playing poker, that's known as all in. I'm just going to shove all my chips into the pile there and say, okay, where the blind draw and the flops and all that. Here it is. The cards are on the table. And my cash.
2 on and 1 out, second and third. Alonso at third, Kemp at second after the double. Here's Justin Upton. Upton had 29 home runs for Atlanta last year. By comparison, this is how anemic the offense was for the Padres a year ago. Their leading home run hitter was Yasmani Grandal, who hit 15. Grandal's now up the road in L.A. He was part of the Kemp deal. So Upton nearly doubled his total.
Well, and for Upton, he's back in a division that he grew up in. Coming up with Arizona, playing all those years down there.
He's familiar with the ballparks. That means a lot to a player, doesn't it?
It really does, and people underestimate that at times. But you know where to get into the ballpark. Where's the entrance? What restaurants do I like to eat at? All of that familiarity helps you relax as a player.
Something to be said for being comfortable, right?
Yes.
A little tougher for mom and dad who live in Virginia, and they would shuttle over. Literally, I know every weekend Justin was telling us to see he and BJ, who's now going by Melvin,
who's still hurt.
He's hurt right now, but they were able to run over to Atlanta very quickly and see their boys play. One and 2 on Upton. And Justin will strike out like a lot of big, strong guys do. Kendrick is not a big strikeout pitcher, however.
Justin Upton's still only 27 years of age.
He got to the big leagues when he was 13. And And this is a towering fly ball to deep center field. It'll get a run home. Charlie makes the catch.
Ball kept going.
Yeah, Kemp will tag and move to third. That ties up the baseball game for Justin Upton, his 6th RBI of the spring.
And off the bat, you knew it was going to be deep enough for a sac fly, but didn't think it was going to go to the warning track.
Carlos Quentin. Every team has decisions to be made. Carlos Quentin, the knees are a little healthier, Huey. He's always had a big bat. But what do you do with them after all the moves that were made?
It's a question that's going to come down in the next 4 or 5 days. You have scouts sitting behind home plate that are evaluating, looking for possible trades and waiver wires. But Carlos Quentin can still play some left field. They're trying him over at first base. That is a work in progress, but there's no denying that that bat still plays.
Yeah, he has a presence when he walks up to the plate. That's in there.
Let's see him ask the home plate umpire, was that on the pitch or on the swing?
Quentin had only 130 big league at bats last year. The last time he played what would approximate a full season, he had 24 home runs with the White Sox in 2011. The year before with the White Sox, he had 26 home runs. His career high in home runs, 36, and 100 driven in for the White Sox in 2008.
With the problem the Padres are going to have, though, they still have Will Myers, who's not playing tonight. He's probably going to be your starting center fielder. We saw Cameron Maybin, Will Venable, who's going to be their 4th outfielder. So where does Quentin fit in the mix?
Yeah, Quentin and Maybin. As I agree with you, you would assume that Will Venable's their 4th.
Yes. I mean, just the history that he's had. I mean, on the cover of the media guide last year, I mean, that doesn't mean a whole lot, but it does say, you know, we value this guy and what he has done for the organization.
This year they have 8 guys. All the new guys are on the cover of the Padres media guide.
They had to do that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, a run in for San Diego in the bottom of the 1st. Carlos Quentin at the plate with Kemp at third. And that's going to go foul. This complex is a dual team complex, like the Rockies share Salt River Field, that beautiful facility with Arizona. San Diego shares this facility with the Seattle Mariners, a former employer of my partner Jeff Houston. So you trained here
in 1998 over here on this on the west side of Phoenix. But this past winter, it underwent some renovations. They put some money into this complex because this was one of the first ones of that type where you had 2 teams sharing it. You know, separate backfields, but the main stadium field was shared by the clubs.
Yeah, they almost they put in close to $10 million in improvements. And for you, when you were training up here, there weren't nearly as many restaurants, and now it's a really bustling place. That's off the end of the bat, slowly hit to Rosario, and a good job coordinating with Kendrick to end the inning. So there were a couple of hits and a run for the Padres. 1-1 as we go to the 2nd in Peoria, Arizona. I think you would concur, Huey. I never get tired of spring training here in Scottsdale.
I'm right there with you. I mean, first of all, we have a great complex to go to and watch spring training games, but the weather's been nice. Just a relaxed atmosphere in spring training.
Plus, you see half of your friends from the Denver metropolitan area. There's always folks in purple, and familiar faces come down this time of year.
It's fun. It's fun. You come down, you throw a blanket down, and watch a ball game. I mean, life's great.
Brandon Barnes takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Working on a new approach, trying to be athletic at the plate. I know that sounds funny. I mean, Brandon Barnes, certainly one of the best all-around athletes in the Rockies organization. And Walt Weiss kind of challenged him. He said, you know, for a guy that makes so many great plays defensively and moves around like a nimble athlete, sometimes he felt like he looked stiff at the plate.
Well, and the hard thing for a player to say is, well, I've had success doing it the other way, and I'm in the big leagues, but he took it as the challenge of, okay, so how do I change my approach? Do I soften my knees and get more of a, bend in my knees and more than straight upright?
This is fouled back and playable for Derek Norris.
I know there's some people out there that still need opening day tickets. Well, the only way to guarantee them is to buy a 2015 Rockies season tickets or mini plans. Call 303 Rockies or go online to Rockies.com. Buy some season tickets or the mini plans.
Rafael Noah. And Rafael takes a strike.
Big double to right field last night for Rafi.
Smoked that ball over the right fielder's head. Plenty of room in right center. Two strikes on Noah with 1 out in a 1-1 game in the second. Tailing fastballs high, 1-2.
The thing with James Shield, he's not afraid to pitch up into the zone. Some pitchers, you're so programmed. You got to pitch at the knees, got to pitch at the knees. Well, that's true, but you can still go upstairs for effectiveness.
This ball is hit really well left center field by Noah, and it's run down by Justin Upton.
Pretty good break on the ball from Upton. We're used to seeing him in right field.
And he's going to be in left, and Matt Kemp will be in right. Of course, remember how disgruntled Kemp got when Don Mattingly removed him from center field, where he was a Gold Glover, but he struggled last year. And they put Puig there and moved Kemp, and Matt's now comfortable, I guess, playing one of the corners, but it'll be right field for Kemp. Here's Nick Hundley. So many years in a Padre uniform. He's really excited, genuinely excited about playing for the Rockies and handling this young pitching staff. Studious guy. Brings an edge and a hard-nosed type of competitiveness to the yard every night.
His dad was a coach. I mean, whether it's
football coach.
It doesn't matter. He was a coach. So he knows how to prepare, how to get the most out of his teammates. And that's what he's learned. Because you talk to any pitcher, they say, man, he'll put a sign down and I don't have to shake off. We're together on this.
Nick fouls this off. Well, you also learn, because if you're a coach's kid, especially a football coach's kid, you learn how to make friends quickly. And so you say a new organization. Nick's always been, he's a great guy, so he's going to be popular quickly. But growing up, he had to move around a lot. He lived in Boulder for a couple of years when his dad was a coach at CU. And then next thing you know, you're in a different town. Got to make new friends.
Yeah, you don't worry about it too much. You just say, hey, let's go play some pickup ball.
Yeah, pretty much wherever he went, he quickly established himself that you better pick me early, whatever the sport is.
Doesn't matter.
Had some opportunities to play at the Pac-12 in terms of college football. Went to U of A to play baseball, though. This is down the right field line, out of play.
Rooting for the Wildcats in the NCAA tournament.
Big time, right?
Snuck by last night, 68-60 over Xavier.
The young man for West Virginia who said that Kentucky was going to be 36-1. I like what Bob Huggins said after the game. He said, listen, he's a freshman. I'm glad. It showed he wasn't afraid. But let a sleeping dog lie. They doubled him up, 78-39, if you didn't catch it.
Well, we all said some things when we were that age that we probably wish we could take back.
That's low. Shields thought it was a strike, but that's one of those borderline pitches. We talked a lot about it last week. Watch Derek Norris now. He stuck it pretty good.
He stuck it good.
In fairness to Norris.
And it was also inside his right leg, his body.
Yeah, boy, that was a changeup and a good one to strike out Nick Hundley. So a 1-2-3 second inning for James Shields. The Rockies won and the Padres won. One. We have not talked to Jenny Kavnar. It seems like 45 minutes, and we can't go more than 45 minutes without talking to Jenny. Jenny?
Well, you started talking about Kentucky basketball, and I wanted to chime in, but I wanted to wait till you properly introduced me. Thank you, Drew, so much. Spring training is a great time to get to know new players. It's also a good time to get to know new coaches, one of those being the Rockies' new pitching coach in Steve Foster. And here's what he had to say about being given the opportunity to be the pitching coach.
I got to do it in the minor leagues. Got to be a pitching coordinator, and I've wanted it. So given this opportunity that you long for, it's special. So I relish it.
Steve Foster is going to kill me for showing that emotion, but that's exactly who he is. He's an emotional guy. He's a relationship-building guy. And as he mentioned, he has prior experience at the big league level. He just hasn't gotten that opportunity to be the pitching coach. Walt Weiss believes in him so much, having him here and having his relationship with Darren Holmes. They really are a team, and it's a team effort when it comes to the starters and to the bullpen. As for Steve Foster, this is the road it took for him to get to be with the Rockies this year. He was with the Marlins organization, with Kansas City's organization, and in fact, last year when Kansas City went to the World Series, he was the pitching coordinator for that team. When I asked him about those moments, he also got very emotional, and that is how he is going to really kind of communicate with these starters. He wants to see that emotion and that fire, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that this year, guys.
Well, I'm sure most of you can't do this, but if you want to get a feel for how well respected Steve Foster is, go ask the guy who's throwing tonight for the Kansas City Royals, James Shields. And I, for one, Huey, I love that emotion because emotion speaks to passion, and that guy has it.
Nothing wrong with it. I mean, that was fun to watch that little clip because it's personal to him. It's not just a job. He is invested in all of these guys. And as a player, you know that when somebody's behind you and they're saying, hey, I'm here with you.
Will Middlebrooks with a sand wedge to right for a leadoff single in the second. I love that word that you used. He is invested in each and every one of his guys, and that's how it has to work with the pitching staff, that there's a trust and an understanding that I got your back. I am going to do everything humanly possible. You want to get here 4 in the morning, I'll be here to help you out.
I'll be there. We'll do whatever you want to do. You tell me, we'll work this together, and we'll go hand in hand and make it click. You know, and for a coordinator too, he has to know so many different moving parts with the player. What makes him tick? Is he more visual? Is he? Do you talk to him in a different tone? How does he respond? Because every human's different, and that's where a pitching coach or a hitting coach, they have to figure that out for the player, from the player.
Jed Jerko at the plate, trying to bounce back from a very difficult year last year. He hit just .210 with 10 home runs and 51 RBIs. He was quickly rewarded his rookie year for a 23 home run season. He had .249. They gave him a 6-year, $35 million deal. And I don't know if it was premature or if he felt the pressure of living up to that quick contract, but last year was a struggle for Jerko.
I think this will be the telling year. Which one was it? Was it premature, or was it, boy, that's a lot of money. I've got to double what I did last year.
2 balls and a strike on Jerko.
He's got some thump in his back.
Well, he can compare notes a little bit with Will Middlebrooks at first, in that both guys were young players that got the attention of the baseball world rather quickly, and then have had to deal with a down year. I mean, Will Middlebrooks last year hit a .191. Now he's hurt. He had some wrist injuries, just a couple home runs. That's a good pitch.
But I think the difference between the two, Jerko's doing that in San Diego. Middlebrooks is trying to do it in Boston.
Big difference.
Big difference.
And with all fairness, you know, and people could say the same thing about Colorado, but
I mean, there's something different between New York and Boston, even a little bit into Chicago now with what they're doing, compared to what's happened and how the media is in San Diego.
(2-2), and that's in the air, left center field. Blackman makes a catch, 1 out. That'll bring up Derek Norris. (26-year-old). Grew up in Kansas. He got drafted right out of high school. He was the player of the year in the state of Kansas. Had he not signed, he was going to go to Wichita State, which is a tradition-rich program.
Is it the Missouri Valley Conference?
Missouri Valley. Underrated conferences. Creighton through the years been good. Years ago, Indiana State, the Valley was very good.
Keenan Eaton from Chaparral went to Wichita State this year.
Yes, he did. He's a talented kid. Son of a good friend of both of ours, Steve Eaton, longtime legendary coach at Chaparral. Two balls and a strike on Norris. You got the lumberjack look going, huh?
That's a new rage.
Not
right?
Not for you and me.
In the off season.
Spotted the fastball well, 2-2. Close to 200 innings last year for Kyle Kendrick with Philadelphia. A club that really struggled. 6 games over 500 in his career. And that'll drop in left center field. Middlebrook stopping at second. 2 on Alexi Amarista with 1 out.
You can ask about the Rockies buy one, get one free suite offer. There are 13 buy one, get one dates in April and May, so call today. 303 Rockies. Go online to rockies.com/suites. Buy one, get one free suite offer.
So Amarista, most days, is scheduled to play shortstop for the Padres. And for those that are, picking apart the Padres a little bit with all of their offseason moves to acquire big names, you have to be impressed with their improvement on paper offensively. They have a heck of a rotation now, with Shields leading things off. Then you have Tyson Ross, who really came into his own last year. You have Andrew Kashner, former 20-game winner Ian Kennedy out of the 4 slot. So there's a lot to work with for Bud Black, but the one question mark that comes up is what kind of defense will they play up the middle? Will Myers has to play center field. Amarista, it's a fly ball here to center field. It's going to be your everyday shortstop. Jed Jerko, not a ton of range at second base. And behind the plate, Derek Norris, as we chatted about earlier, known more as an offensive catcher.
Yeah, for last year for Amarista in 148 games, he only had 9 errors. But with their pitching staff, they're more of a strikeout staff than I would say a ground ball. But you're still going to need that. If the ball's on the ground or just things that we kind of take for granted because we got the rangy guys out there, but those go for base hits maybe in San Diego.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out for the Padres. First and third, 2 outs. Cameron Maben, who popped the third his first time. Bottom of the second, 1-1. That's outside. Padres last year scored 535 runs. That was the worst in baseball by 38 runs. The next lowest output, the Atlanta Braves scored 573.
That one surprises me. Atlanta.
Yeah. Maben swings and misses. By contrast, the Rockies led the National League, 3rd most in baseball. They had 220 more runs, 755. Now, their issues were scoring on the road. The Angels, if you're wondering, scored more runs than anybody else, followed by Detroit. Angels scored 773 runs. Detroit 2 more than the Rockies, 757. Here's the 1-1 from Kendrick, and it's on the ground to short. Tulo will go the short way, and that is all for the Padres. They had a couple hits. They'll leave runners at first and third. We'll go to the third, tied at 1. Cactus League Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Sierra Trading Post, your favorite adventure brands up to 70% off stores in Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Nevada. And by Taco Bell, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any regular season game, you get your Rockies Taco Special. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Jenny Kavnar from the Peoria Sports Complex, Peoria, Arizona. About a 30-minute drive, depending on traffic, from the Rockies Spring Training Complex in North Scottsdale. Kyle Kendrick batting 8 will lead things off against James Shields, and a fastball on the inside corner for a strike. And if you're wondering again why Walt is doing this, why Tony La Russa did it, it's to get the guys at the top of the order an opportunity to potentially have a little more traffic on when they come up. Also, it should be noted, think about this, in the course of a National League game, your starting pitcher oftentimes only hits a couple of times. By the time he comes up the third time, he's either out of the game or is removed for a pinch hitter.
Yeah, it's not like you're saying, okay, we're going to have them go out there and go 8 or 9 innings.
Well, you hope that happens.
Yeah, you do, and then he gets that extra at bat. This is the one case where I know the critics, some people will say, well, wait, if you had the 8th place hitter leading off and he got on, then you could have the pitcher bunt him over to second base. I mean, there's going to be pluses and minuses on both sides.
That's going to drift over the Rockies dugout out of play. The game keeps evolving. You see that tweet from Garrett Filson saying he saw the Mets do it today as well. It's why more teams are putting a big-time bat in the 2 spot. There's some people in baseball that are proponents that study numbers, that are proponents of having your best hitter, instead of hitting third, actually leading off, because he's going to get so many more at bats during the season hitting in that top of the spot lineup. It's something Walt's thought about. You know, Cargo, remember in 09, Cargo hit leadoff, and it was a holy terror. He went 10 of 17 against the Phillies in that postseason series in in 2009. And it goes back to what you were talking about. You weigh it against, okay, well, how many times is he going to come up where there's not as much traffic as I would like if he's hitting 2 or 3?
And that's where the analytics of the game has changed in the last 5 to 10 years compared to where it was 20 years ago. And it's something that we're going to be talking about throughout this season. Some of the analytics of the game, some of the glossary and the terms that we throw around like the WAR and, some of the other, say, BBAP, batted balls in play and the average and all of that. That's stuff we're going to talk about throughout the season. So, it's really where the game is starting to go to.
And has been for a while. This gives you an opportunity to evaluate it at home like the guys in front offices do in this day and age. Steady spring as always for DJ LeMahieu. You look up steady in the dictionary and there he is.
Offensively, defensively, base running.
You just know what you're going to get every day from him, which is that'd be really nice for a manager. 2 outs. That is his 3rd strikeout for James Shields. That'll bring up Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon singled, the only hit for the Rockies, leading off the ball game. An errant throw trying to pick him off by Shields moved Blackmon to second. A wild pitch moved him to third. And then he scored on an RBI ground out to the right side by Cargo. Shields touched the strike zone there. It's really a homecoming of sorts for James Shields. He's a California kid. He grew up in the Los Angeles area. Breaking ball misses, 1-1. Here's the LA Times Valley Player of the Year. His junior year in high school. And another base hit for Charlie. Shields was drafted in the 16th round by the Rays out of high school. He had a scholarship to go to LSU and pitch. And he decided, even though he's a 16th round pick, to sign.
Well, and that's before they had the slot money, where if you were a 16th round, you could only pay him X amount of dollars like it is now, or you had to get permission from the commissioner's office back then that you could say, okay, he's a 16th round pick, sure, but we can pay him X amount of dollars, even though it's more of first or second round money.
Tulo fouls it off out of play. An example of that with a former Rocky is Dexter Fowler. Dexter was taken in the 14th round, and most people projected him as a first-round talent. They weren't sure if he was going to go. He had offers to play baseball at Miami, to go play baseball and basketball at Harvard. They weren't sure if he would sign. And so he slipped all the way to the 14th round, and the Rockies, after trading Larry Walker with the money saved, which was just under $1 million, they gave all that money and offered it to Dexter, who was a 14th round pick. And as you know, he decided to forego going to college and he signed. Two-strike count on Tulowitzki. Rockies saw James Shields last year when they were in Kansas City during the regular season.
This is a quick 2-game set in Kansas City. Night game and then a day game.
That's close. What Shields was thinking, he may take off with the 0-2 count. Blackmon last year 28 out of 38 stealing bases.
He tried it in the first inning. That's when he threw the ball away and allowed Charlie to get to second base. Changeup.
Troy turned 30 in the offseason. Strange to think of him as a 30-year-old, isn't it?
I was just laughing to myself, thinking the same thing. Wait, it wasn't just a couple years ago he was just making his major league debut?
And this ball is hit well to center field, but playable for Maben. That'll end the inning. Blackman reached on another base hit. He's 2 for 2. Middle of 3. Rockies won. Padres won from Peoria. One as we go to the bottom of the third inning with Jeff Hewson and Jenny Kavner. I'm Drew Goodman. A reminder, who wants tacos? If the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any regular season game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. Glad to have Taco Bell with us once again this year. I like it. You know what? You don't see the black sleeveless on fans very frequently. This is a perfect night to wear the black sleeveless.
Yes, it is. It was hotter today than it was yesterday.
Good 95. They're breaking records here in March.
I know. Put some extra sunscreen on today.
So, your hometown is north of here. This time of year in Sedona, if it's 95 in Phoenix, what is it in Sedona?
80 to 85.
So it's almost 15-degree difference?
10 to 15 usually.
We had a beautiful shot of Sedona last week.
I saw that.
You did see that. And we had a shot of the statue of Jeff Hewson as we enter
I must have blinked. I missed that one.
I didn't realize how large it was. Yonder Alonso at the plate. Yonder a base hit and scored the only Padre run, and he's going to need new lumber.
I'm a Mets fan.
Okay, there we go.
And your house was up on the cliff to the right. Yeah, set back a little bit. It's hard to see.
Yeah, you had to drive to the backside.
Yeah. I mean, you had views for miles and miles.
It is beautiful country.
You ever do any rock climbing?
Nope.
See any rattlers up there growing up?
Yes.
With the shift on, this is lined to right, and it'll drop in front of Cargo. So a base hit for Alonso. 5 hits against Kyle Kendrick. He's going to give up some hits. Balls in play against Kendrick. What he's really good at is pitching out of the stretch and limiting damage. He gives you a chance every time he takes the baseball. Matt Kemp will be next. Kemp launched a double to deep center field his first time up. Having a huge spring in a new uniform. You know, when you bring all these guys in, you know about their resumes, and you hope and you care more about what happens at the beginning of April, obviously, but you want to see the quick adjustment. Every guy they've brought in is having a really good March, Huey.
Well, and also you wonder how they're going to mesh collectively, because they've been the top player, the person in their clubhouse from the respective teams. So how does that play out? Is it going to be, well, I want to be the best? It's up to Bud Black to help manage that clubhouse too, or say, guys, you know what? You're professionals, you're veteran guys, you figure it out.
I don't think Bud is going to have any kind of issue managing people. He's just such an affable guy, but he's an intense guy. And he's in the final year of his contract. And to me, I think of Bud Black as one of the elite managers in the game. You say, well, how can he be an elite manager? He's been there 8 years. They've never gone to the postseason. He hasn't had a lot to work with.
Well, I think that's why this year is going to be an interesting year for Bud. Because the amount of money that they put into the club, all the new guys that they brought in, they're finally saying, here's some guys you can work with. How are you going to do it?
Well, every year with what the Padres have had to work with, more often than not, they overachieve. Now, they haven't had a winning season since 2010 when they won 90 ball games. Well, there's universal respect inside the game for Bud Black. In fact, he's the longest tenured manager in baseball, short of the guy he used to work for, Mike Scioscia, up the road in Anaheim. Two and two on Kemp, who needs to take a walk and then beat himself over the head. That's why when you tell guys to stay in the box. Now, here's the new rule. If you take a swing, and Kemp took a partial swing, you can exit the box.
Right.
And take a walk.
Right, and that doesn't count that time clock that they have where the hitter has to be in the box in a certain amount of time and the pitcher has to deliver the pitch.
2 and 2. Hundley sets up away, and that pitch got too much of the plate. And it's over the head of Blackman. Alonso will get a stop sign, and once again it's a double for Matt Kemp.
Both times the center field for Kemp. Well, you can't leave a belt-high fastball up to Kemp. He'll put it there.
Well, it was a 2-foot miss. It was a 2-foot miss up, and it was a 2-foot miss almost east and west. You saw that Nick Hundley was set up almost off the plate. And down and away.
Well, and with 2 strikes. The hitter's just saying, well, if I see the ball up, I'm going to take a pass at it.
Justin Upton had a sac fly in the first to fairly deep center field. Second and third, and a good off-speed pitch, 0-1. This is blooped to shallow left and not deep enough to get the run home. So a good running catch by Brandon Barnes. Good pitch as that got in on the hands of Upton for the first out in the inning. That'll bring up Quentin.
And that was the difference between the pitch to Matt Kemp. It was up, but it was over the plate. That one was up and in on the hands of Upton.
Rockies have fashioned a .372 spring training ERA, which is really good, particularly in the Cactus League. Huey, you worked in both leagues. You worked in the Cactus League in the spring. You worked in the Grapefruit League. This is an offensive league.
Well, the ground gets hard. The temperatures, as you mentioned, 95 degrees. Ball flies well. You have some balls that are lost in the high sky here.
The Rockies have the second lowest ERA in the National League among Cactus League teams. Third lowest in the National League overall this spring, and that's pleasing the man on the left, Steve Foster, and the man in the middle, Walt Weiss, and Tommy Runnels, the bench coach. One strike on Carlos Quentin.
With that being said about the fields and the conditions in Arizona, if you ask any player, what's their druther? They'd rather be here in Arizona than down in Florida. The travel is easier.
Travel's so much easier. You have 15 teams all within really 45 minutes of one another here in the Cactus League.
Complain a little bit of the drive we had to go to Texas yesterday. It was 45 minutes. I mean, you're looking at 2-hour bus rides, 2.5 in the down in Florida.
When you were with the Rockies at one spring training, said, guys, you'd have to come up here from Tucson. That's different now. Obviously, no teams are in Tucson anymore, but sometimes you'd come up and spend 2 nights up here and play back to back to back rather than spend 5 hours on a bus.
Up and back. And that was nice. You'd say, okay, it's a 3-day bus trip. We're going up. We're going to play in Peoria, Scottsdale, wherever. I remember one time we were coming back from Phoenix, and Don Baylor was managing, and we're back. And this is, I don't know what number trip it was up and back from Tucson, but we come back, and he had called ahead to the Dairy Queen there halfway and got us all blizzards.
You know what? Like Little League, right?
It was perfect.
Listen, I stopped at that Dairy Queen quite a bit to get a blizzard. Will Middlebrooks walks, and I was thinking, Carlos Quentin walks. I was thinking when Quentin came up that Kendrick would be real careful with him because you have a base open, and it sets up the opportunity with a right-handed bat, not a flyer, in Middlebrooks, that if you get a ground ball, you get out of the inning.
Yeah, no harm. You're still at a point in the ball game, bottom of the third, 1-1. You get the double play. You're out of here. You're still tied up. Putting that guy at first base, this is not a huge deal.
That's popped down the right field line. Cargo's going to have a play. He's going to set to throw, and they're not. No,
got him at second base.
And unfortunately, it hit the base runner. It's going to cost the Rockies a run. Blackman wisely does not throw. Cargo made an absolutely perfect throw. Alonso said, no way I'm going. And Kemp thought he was going, and he went halfway, which is what he's supposed to do. And then Hundley thought he could back pick him. Look at this throw from Cargo.
Well, that's the advantage you have of Carlos in right field, and they would have had Matt Kemp with a good throw from Hundley. He airs it out everywhere on the money. Hundley's looking to third base and didn't get that left shoulder turned enough to be able to throw it to second.
So it's an E2, an error on Hundley that allowed the run to score and for Kemp to move up. Jed Jerko at the plate. Jerko hit a fly ball to center field his first time up. And the 0-1 is hit in the air to left. Routine play for Barnes. Padres get a run on the error by Nick Hundley. So it's 2-1 San Diego. We're off to the 4th inning. 2-1 San Diego. We'll go to the fourth. Cargo, Rosario, and Brandon Barnes to face James Shields, who's scheduled to go 6 innings or around 90 pitches. The Rockies are back, so Cheyenne Frontier Days. Watch and win again this season for concert tickets. Check out the lineup at cfdrodeo.com. Steven Tyler's going to be there, right?
Yes, he is. I'm going on Wednesday night and Thursday night. I already have the tickets, Drew.
Aerosmith's playing. Who are you seeing? Aerosmith? Who else?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the other. Hang on.
Cargo, an RBI ground out, his first time. And that's strike one. You're going to a concert and you have no idea who you're going to see. Is that basically what you're telling me?
Aerosmith, and then Alabama with Montgomery Gentry. That's who I'm going to see.
Alabama?
Well, it's been the rest of the family. They're going to Keith Urban.
Am I free
Blake
that night?
Shelton.
Can I go?
No, you can go to Aerosmith.
Is that an off night?
Yes. And so is Alabama. That's an off night.
I've told you my Steven Tyler story from the Super Bowl last year. 3 straight nights, I saw him in a Ray's Pizza at 2:30 in the morning.
In New York.
In New York. And Shields strikes out Cargo. 1 out. Willeen, a ground ball to third. Shields has allowed just 2 hits to the same guy, Charlie Blackmon. 2 sharp singles for Charlie. Scored the Rockies' run in the first.
So did you have your entourage and he had his? Is that how it worked?
He had a more substantial and better looking entourage than I had. It was me and Hastings. So Hastings was my bouncer. We had a taller entourage.
Gotcha.
Sliders outside. 2-0.
Well, both pitchers tonight looking to go maybe 6 innings, 90 pitches to ramp up their arm strength in anticipation of opening day.
Cutter on a 2-0 pitch.
Well, the Padres have not officially named an opening day starter yet.
Kind of like this guy to be their opening day
Well,
starter.
they would, but it's not official. The rotation, they had James Shield, Tyson Rosh, Andrew Cashner, Ian Kennedy, penciled in 1 through 4.
Right on top of the mound, and it's going to go for a double. You really can't attach an error because nobody touched it. And that's where I fall back on. Guess what? In every league other than professional baseball, the pitcher makes that play. James Shields was a great, not a good, a great two-way player growing up in high school. Can he not catch a pop-up? Everybody else has to look up and then run up the hill.
Yeah,
catch it, James. It's right on top of the rubber.
Now, they did give the first baseman Alonso an air. But the hustle from Molina, he didn't stop running just because he hit it up in the air by the pitcher's mound. He kept running hard. But you're right. I mean, how many times do you see it? The ball goes up, pitcher's yelling there for everybody else to get it, and they get out of the way.
Barnes tries to bunt his way on. To me, it makes no sense because of it's one thing if it's off the mound. But now you're asking a guy, while he's looking up in the sky, running full tilt. I mean, third baseman, the corner infielders, everybody's got to run a long way.
But there are some pitchers you do not want handling those.
I get that. James Shields can handle himself. And then you're running up a slope. So you can stumble. It doesn't make sense. There's already a guy standing on the bump. Let him catch it. Been catching baseball since he was 4. Stop. That's got to change. Glad it happened.
You're pretty passionate about
that.
Yeah,
I'm just practicing in March here. I'm going to break that out in June when it happens again. The pitcher is a non-athlete. Why even have a glove on his hand then? Roll the ball back.
Stop.
Pick it up.
Stop.
1 ball, 1 strike. Get out of the way, you non-athlete. Breaking ball backed up inside 2-1. Mark Ripperger is our home plate umpire. Got a 4-man crew last night. We had with just a trio.
Like triple A or double A. Double A goes with 3 umpires. Triple A 4. A ball goes with 2 umpires. 2-man crews.
This is another pop-up. Shields won't be involved here. Maben, who is allowed to catch pop-ups, makes the play. You
Got
can
it.
catch, you can catch, you can't.
You can't.
All right, I beat that to death.
Yes.
2-1 San Diego with 2 outs. Rafael Noah will come up. He hit a deep drive to left center his first time up. This ball is roped pretty well to right field, and again, he knows hit it over a right fielder's head. He's tied up the ball game with a double as Rosario scores. Gotta love that, Rafael Yanoa.
It was like a replay of last night. You don't understand the pop that he has. You look at him, smaller in stature, but twice now powered the ball over the head of the right fielder. Going in close. Kim can't reach it.
It's the high-quality pitcher. Not hitting off a double-A guy.
No, it's not saying, oh, well, this guy will be the double-A franchise. No, Noah says, I can hit James Shield.
Hundley checks his swing. No swing. They check it first. Fouled off.
I don't want it to get lost in all of that with the Noah hitting the double. Think back to that pop-up that Wallin had. He could have jogged to first. Instead, he busted it to second, and with the double scored. I'm not saying he wouldn't have scored from first base, but the error by Yonder Alonso and the hustle from Wallin tied this game up.
And that's a good point, Huey, because instead of kind of Cadillacing it to first base, figuring it's pop up, I'm out.
You're mad.
And then, well, I'm at first base. Wallin was on second base when the ball wasn't handled by Alonso.
Good hustle, Wallin. Teammates take notice.
Doris with the block, and then he almost threw it down the left field line.
Okay, that's a wild pitch. I'm laughing because the third base umpire, when that throw was coming, he's jumping out of the way thinking it's going to get by Middlebrooks. Just watch in the background the third base umpire. You know he's going to be safe, but watch the umpire. He's jumping.
Better than 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio for James Shields. 2-2 on Hundley. Go ahead run at third with 2 outs. You look at Shields' career. He has made 31-plus starts every year since 2007. You just don't hear about that anymore, the pitcher. You have a pitcher who back-to-back seasons makes his full complement of starts. You start comparing him to a pitcher's version of Cal Ripken.
You're doing jumping jacks, high fives, and wow, look at this guy. Over almost 1,800 innings pitched since 2007.
8 straight years of 200-plus innings. He's a throwback, and he strikes out Nick Hundley. Rockies get even as Willeen Rosario is brought home by Rafael Inoa's double. 2-2, middle of 4th. Two-two. This is not what you want to see this time of the ball game. Cargo's leaving early. There's no way he came up to Peoria to get 2 at-bats and leave at the bottom of the 4th inning. So let's get an update as to what's going on with Cargo from Jenny Cavnar. Jenny?
Yeah, thanks, Drew. We hope to get further information on Carlos Gonzalez and his exit, but we want to get you some updated information on other injuries the Colorado Rockies are dealing with. Of course, we know all about Jorge De La Rosa. He has been doing some light running. He's not throwing bullpens, but he is playing catch. Walt Weiss said today they're getting closer to having to make a decision what to do with him. Of course, he will not make that opening day start at home at Coors Field. As for Justin Morneau, Daniel Descalso, and Charlie Culberson, great news for all 3 of these guys. They will be in the lineup in the big league game tomorrow. Justin Morneau, Daniel Descalso, they've been playing in some minor league games. Justin Morneau really making sure he got his at-bats. In fact, yesterday, 2 minor league games going on, and he got his at-bats at one, picked him up, ran to the other game, got his at-bats in that one too. So just wanted to make sure that he was up to speed, but talked to all 2 of those guys today, and Descalso and Morneau, both of them said they're feeling great. And I know for Descalso with that oblique injury, he said it's felt like forever since I've actually just been able to feel like I can play in that game. And he said confidently, I'm ready to play tomorrow.
All right, Jenny, well, that's good news. We'll see why Cargo had to go off. We'll get word to you as soon as we find out. John Duff, who's the Grand Junction trainer working this game along with Keith Duggars. You see Tim Wheeler in right, was the one who was escorting Cargo down the right field line. It may have happened on that swing. Whatever happened.
It's too.
It's
really
crazy.
Hard
it's crazy
to
speculate. Yeah. And here's the other thing you have to keep in mind. If any little thing occurs in a March game, you come out.
Yes. Definitely. And, you know, you look at, he got the 2 at-bats. Maybe you wanted to get 3, but he said, well, something's not right. I'm gonna go ahead and take it back to Scottsdale.
Here's the last time Cargo was at the plate. And here's the swing. See if he has any sort of reaction.
Can't tell from that.
In the air to deep right field, but playable for Wheeler.
Going to the ball game.
Norris is retired.
You're going to get a play in the first 1 or 2 batters.
You know it. Alexi Amarista. And you see the way he handled that bat, Huey. That's one where he's making a decision when he sees the infielders crashing. He shows bunt early. He's actually going to try to punch that bunt past the infielder coming in.
Yeah, I remember doing that as well as anybody was Omar Vizquel. Omar could do that. He'd see the guys come in, just kind of slap it over the third baseman's head or into that 5-6 hole. He had the bat control to pull it off.
0-2 on Amarista. Rolled toward the hole and on through past the diving DJ LeMahieu. 7th hit for the Padres, and with 1 out, that'll bring up Maben at the top of the order. Speed at first with Amarista.
Maybe Maben's just working on it, but I don't like that play with 1 out. No outs is a good play. 1 out, I want the guy to try to hit a double.
Cameron, unfortunately, the hits have been few and far between the last few years. Maben last year hit .235. .246 career hitter from Maben.
Truckload of injuries the last two plus years that have slowed his career path down.
I thought he was going to be a big time star. The Tigers took him with the 10th overall pick many years ago. And Kendrick with a strikeout of Maben. That's first strikeout for Kyle tonight. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Yonder Alonso.
Circle change. Come down, pull the hand across the body, get the downward action. A good finish.
Here's the University of Miami product, Yonder Alonso. Shift is on again. Rocky shifted, what, about 3-4 guys last night, Huey?
Looks like everybody, almost.
They get him? Yep. Good job by Nick Hundley. The block and then the quick release. He fired to Tulowitzki, and he got Amarista trying to move up to close the inning. We'll go to the 5th. The Rockies 2 and the Padres 2. Nice job by Nick Huntley. Good shot at Justin Morneau. Justin, 4 hits, playing in minor league games yesterday, as Jenny was talking about. That left elbow has been bothering him some, but he's getting closer to returning to A-game action. May even see him tomorrow against the Cubs. We're not televising tomorrow against the Cubs. We'll be back on the air Sunday when the Rockies are at Salt River Fields against their co-tenants, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that Sunday game, that's a split squad game because a group of Rockies and D-backs are heading down to Hermosillo.
In Mexico. Rockies group headed up by Vinny Castilla. He'll be signing lots of autographs. Is Walt going or is Walt staying? Do you know?
I'm not sure of the travel roster yet.
0-2 on Kendrick and a broken bat, a roller to Will Middlebrooks. DJ LeMahieu struck out his first time. 5 strikeouts for James Shields, who's really pitched very well. In fact, if the defense was a little tighter around him, he probably would not have relinquished a run. Padres last year, Huey, won 48 games at Petco. That's the most games they've ever won at Petco since it opened in 2004. You think of the rotation and now the ability to score, again, on paper, far easier than they did in years past. And it's showing up in spring training. They have 26 home runs, which is one of the highest figures in the Cactus League this year. Last year in spring training, they hit only 27 home runs. There's still 10 days left of spring training.
We talked about the numbers of the Padres scoring the fewest runs in all of baseball, but the rotation and the probable starters. And when you're thinking about Ian Kennedy is your 4th starter. To me, I look at Tyson Ross on that. He could be your number 1.
DJ shoots one down the right field line, and LeMahieu's going to have at least 2. Stop there at second with a 1-out double.
But to finish up, I mean, Ian Kennedy was a number 1 at one time. Now he's your fourth.
If Ian Kennedy is throwing on the 4th day of the season, you have a nice rotation.
Yes, you do. And this is a nice swing from DJ LeMahieu. DJ's worked on his swing, trying to create a little bit more power, but yet don't lose what got you here and being able to hit to right field.
We saw at times last year, especially on breaking balls, DJ open up the hips and drive the ball out of the ballpark. Hit 4 home runs last year. Charlie's 2 for 2 against Shields. Rockies have just 4 hits against James Shields. 2-2 game in the 5th. Good eye, 2-1. Two and two.
And one thing they're doing tonight, they are making James Shields, you know, he's only given up 4 hits. It's up to 87 pitches. They were looking at him to have 90 pitches tonight or 6 innings.
Well, you know this, Huey. To beat a true number 1,
but
chances are you're not going to go put an 8 spot up on him. So you got to hang in there. And your pitcher's got to keep you in the ball game. Kyle Kendrick's done that, and try to run him out of there and get after a bullpen.
But my only thing tonight is James Shields has played his career in the American League. I know they're using a DH. Why aren't they hitting James Shields tonight to get used to facing a pitcher and maybe having to lay down a bunt?
I'm limiting my conversation tonight to talking about pitchers fielding. Okay, I'm not talking about pitchers hitting tonight. That will be a future ball game.
Okay. I thought you said earlier he was a good athlete. Let him catch the ball.
Tremendous athlete. Hit 11 home runs his junior year in Los Angeles, a high school player. I'd have him hit tonight, but I'm not the skipper.
I just thought about why wouldn't you have him hit?
Ball 4. And now he's close to that 90 pitch. To see how Bud Black works this. They want to get Quentin some ABs.
Maybe trying to showcase him. Whatever it is, you can still listen to Live Rockies Baseball. It's back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. If you're a baseball fan, you have to get this app. MLB.com at bat 2015. It's a must-have.
Tulo a strikeout and a fly ball to center field. Pretty deep center field. And a base hit to right. DJ had to stop to see it through and will hold at third. So the bases are loaded. It would ordinarily be for Carlos Gonzalez, but he had to leave the ball game. So Tim Wheeler is going to get his first AB, and he comes up with the bases drunk.
Beautiful inside-out swing from Troy. You see DJ with the ball on the line and not higher than the head of the infielder. You have to freeze. You cannot get doubled up. Probably wasn't going to score anyway, as hard as that ball was hitting Kemp's arm and right. But smart base running from DJ.
Tim Wheeler was a pretty big prospect a couple years ago in the Rockies organization. It just gives you an idea how difficult it is to make it and establish yourself in the big leagues. Tim has a lot of tools.
A lot of home runs in Double-A. They've had that wrist injury. Not as much power in Triple-A. It's a hard game.
This gets away, and DJ started to come down the line. So it's 1-1 on Wheeler. 2-2 game in the fifth. Sometimes, Huey, you'll see managers have a pitcher skip his start in spring training against a team that they will see early. When it's inside the division, you don't pay as much attention to that because you see each other so many times. But when it's outside the division and it's late in spring training, if you're going to see that team, say, the opening 10 days, you may bypass that pitcher from a start against that same club.
Yeah, you see it every spring, and it doesn't matter what club it is. You could say, well, we're going to face him early. I don't want them to get 2 looks at him or a look before they go into the regular season. Randy Johnson never used to pitch against a team within his division. He'd go pitch on the backfield.
Well, I mean, you think about it, the Rockies open up in the Central. The opening series is in Milwaukee, and then the first home series is against the Cubs. And both of those teams train down here in Arizona, so you don't want to give them an additional look that late in spring.
Right, because that's what hitters love about spring training. Well, if I just saw that guy, it's not like, well, I saw him a month ago early in the spring. I don't know what he has now.
One, two, outside, 2-2. DJ's at third, he doubled. At second is Blackman, he walked, and Tulowitzki a base hit to right. Troy is at first base. 95th pitch upcoming for James Shields. And that's smoked to right for a base hit. LeMahieu will score. Blackman's going to come around. It's a 2-run single for Wheeler, and the Rockies take a 4-2 lead. Tim Wheeler off the bench, inserted into right field when Cargo had to shut it down. And he has driven in 2 to give the Rockies a lead. Bud Black on his way to the mound.
Says, I'm going to try to do my best Carlos Gonzalez impression, driving a couple runs. He took his head down to the barrel of the bat just beautifully.
So Shields will walk off. 95 pitches in the ball game. Hearing it from the crowd, but the Rockies have a 4-2 lead. We'll be back. So James Shields gone after 4 1/3. Probably pitched better than his final line. New pitcher in the ball game for San Diego is Zach Segovia. He'll be asked to get the Padres out of the inning. Rockies have Wheeler at first, Tulowitzki at third, and Rosario coming to the plate.
A lot of minor league games for Zach. Big right-hander, 31 years of age, 6'4", 240 pounds. This way to come up for Tim Wheeler, drive in a couple runs.
Rockies ended up getting 6 hits against Shields. James struck out 5, he walked 1. Willeen with a ground ball deep in the hole, and that pulled him off the bag, but they'll give the out call. But the RBI, and the Rockies have a 5-2 lead. So Willeen drives in the run. And we're going to turn the double play anyhow. Tulowitzki did a good job getting into Jed Jerko. Let's go downstairs, get a little bit more on Troy from Jenny.
Yeah, we're actually going to talk about Cargo, Drew, as he left after the top of the 4th. Update from the Rockies clubhouse is his knee is sore. It's just precautionary. They took him out of the game that early. It happened on the throw to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd. Of course, his throw right on the money, but it did cause his knee to become a little sore. It looks like he'll be okay. Again, precautionary that Cargo left the game after the top of the 4th.
That ball smoked the center field. Base hit for Brandon Barnes. And look at Willeen. He's going to go first and third, running well. Chatted about that in the past. Willeen always run pretty well for a catcher.
Let's go back to the
squat this spring.
Yeah, let's go back to the throw, because this is where you wonder if that just because he had to torque it so much when he planted that leg in the ground. Something's not right, so it just get some ice on it.
Again, you're always going to err on the side of caution in spring training. First and third for Rafael Inoa, who doubled in a run in the 4th. Good to see Brandon hit the ball hard there, Jeff.
He needed it. You know, you're tinkering with your swing. You want to be more athletic at the plate. You still look up and you're still worried about your batting average. There's nothing wrong with his swing on that base hit.
So the final line on Shields: 4 1/3, 5 runs, 3 earned, 6 hits, a walk, and 5 punch-outs. 5-2 Colorado, 2 outs in the 5th inning. Rafael Inoa, the 8th man to hit here in the inning, and Segovia checks out Barnes. There goes Brandon, and the throw is not going to get him. So Barnes swipes second base. 2 out there for Rafael now. Boy, Walt loves to have athletes, and you got a little bit of a lead. And this is how he's going to play it during the regular season. Middle innings, keep the foot on the pedal.
Don't ever let up.
Get a base hit, and all of a sudden you go from, what was it, 2-2 game, 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
You'd be up a 5 spot.
You have their starting pitcher out of the game. You know, I know it's spring training, but it's still those are the little things that you're trying to change as you move forward.
The Rockies know they're going to see James Shields 3 to 5 times this year. Remember 1 year, Brad Penny, just the way it worked with the Dodgers.
Faced the
Rockies. Yeah, he was 6-0 against the Rockies. I mean, they got tired of seeing him. But
every start.
This is helpful. This is helpful for a team that will see James Shields quite a bit. Get a feel for repertoire, ball movement, sequence. On the ground is short. Low throw, but it's handled. So that'll end the inning. The Rockies come up with 3 runs as they send 8 to the plate, and they have a 5-2 lead, middle of 5. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in Peoria, Arizona, the Rockies 5, the Padres 2. James Shields done, as we showed you, after 4 1/3. And Kyle Kendrick continues on here in the 5th. They'll face Yonder Alonso, Matt Kemp, and Justin Upton. And for Kyle Kendrick, his command's been not as sharp as normal. There have been hits against him, 7 hits, but guess what? He's only given up 2 runs, and that's what Kendrick does.
Well, instead of having that crooked number where it could have gotten spiraled out of control, it didn't. And I think back to that in the 3rd inning. He had a leadoff single, then the double, and a walk. What happened? They just scored the 1 run. And it was an unearned run because of the error on Hundley on the throw down to second base.
Strike on Alonso, who's 2 for 2 and has scored both runs for the Padres. Stay away from the big inning.
Yes.
And with the Rockies offense, particularly at home, you're going to give yourself an opportunity to win a lot of ball games. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rockies have shifted each time Alonso has come up.
The one difference, you don't see DJ back 15 feet on the grass. He's still even with the dirt in the grass.
Now let me ask you, you played plenty of second base in the big leagues. Why is that? With the shift on, Alonso's not a flyer. Why not give yourself even more range and go out 10, 15 feet onto the grass?
Well, in spring training, he might not feel comfortable with the lip and the grass behind him. During the regular season, it could be lower. They're used to it. It's kind of hard to argue with DJ what he wants to do in his Gold Glove.
3-2 on Yonder Alonso.
'73 pitches for Kendrick.
Second walk allowed by Kyle. He's had trouble with Matt Kemp. Kemp has doubled twice to center field.
In trouble with Yonder Alonso. 2 walks or 2 base hits and a walk.
Matt Kemp last year put together an extraordinary second half. He was one of the 3 or 4 best offensive players in baseball in the second half last year. The final line, 287, 25 home runs, 89 driven in.
If you remember, he had off-season shoulder surgery. So early in the season, maybe he wasn't trusting it. Maybe he thought, my strength's not all the way back yet.
But, you know, with Kemp, I think it goes back the shoulder injury
Yes.
about 3 years ago when he ran into the center field wall at Coors Field.
And it wasn't just a small run into the wall. I mean, that was full speed, Evel Knievel type of crash.
He led the big leagues in the second half last year, to give you some numbers behind what I was saying, with a .606 slugging percentage. From the All-Star break to the end of the year, he hit .309 with 17 second half home runs. .54 RBIs were second most in the second half in the game. 0-2 on Kemp, and this time Kyle Kendrick strikes out Matt Kemp. 1 out, and that'll bring up Upton.
They didn't make a mistake with 2 strikes to Kemp this at bat. A low target from Hundley.
Hard two-seamer.
Well, tremendous action.
Curveball's high. Sac fly for Upton in the first, and a fly ball to left field. Got in on his hands, did Kendrick, in the 3rd inning. Guy you played against, Mark Kotsay, is the new hitting coach for the Padres. They have gone through some hitting coaches since they moved to Petco. 7. Was a little too close to the railing for Rosario. 7 since they opened the doors to Petco Park in downtown San Diego in 2004.
Go through the list of all of them that they've had. This is the inexperience from Moline. Not sure where the wall is. But that comes with experience. You get over there, you'll know next time. Get to the wall, and then you can work back towards the field. Well, last year was Phil Plantier. Alonzo Powell was the assistant hitting coach.
There's Dave Roberts on the left and Mark Kotsay on the right.
Now Alonzo's still here.
Guy on the left, Dave Roberts, he's going to be an MGR at some point in the not too distant future. Three and 1. Padres have some depth also with all these moves they made, Huey. Guy we haven't seen tonight, and I don't know if we will, Tommy Medica. He's hitting like 6,000 this spring.
A lot of playing time last year.
That's a base hit for Upton. And Medica's leading the club with the .484 average. He's got 4 home runs. 2 on for Carlos Quentin.
Solarte, another guy that played a ton. 13 hits, hitting .295 this spring.
Yangervis Solarte, former Yankee. Waltz going to go and get Kyle Kendrick. Rockies are going to double switch. Jason Langfells has come in at third base. Jairo Diaz is going to pitch for the Rockies. You wonder if Rafael Ynoa hurt himself. You wouldn't think to make that move right there, but who knows. 5-2 Colorado. Five-2 Colorado. So the Rockies will double switch. Pretty clearly, he'd like Jairo Diaz to get lengthened out a little bit, as we saw last night with Brooks Brown. And the pitchers do up second next inning. Ynoa made the last out, so that's why he pulled Ynoa out and put Jason Langfells in. This way, Jairo Diaz can hopefully work out of this and then work another inning. Quentin at the plate. And it takes outside. Jairo Diaz came from the Angels organization, the Josh Rutledge deal, a guy that throws in the upper 90s and has on many occasions in his past touched 100, 101 miles an hour.
But that's what Walt wants to see. If he comes out tonight throwing that hard this inning and then sits for 10 minutes or so, does he come back out and have the same stuff the second inning? This is little questions that you need answered as a manager and as a staff when you head into your meetings each and every day and you're trying to construct your roster.
1-1 to Quentin is fouled off. Why don't you describe how frightening that is when a guy throws that hard and the ball, you know, you were left-handed here, left on left for you, ball's eating you up, man.
Up. All you're thinking of self-preservation. Just don't let it hit me, and hopefully I will foul it off so I don't look like a fool.
Two and two. Both starting pitchers go 4 1/3. Kendrick allowed 8 hits and a couple of walks, struck out 2. Strike 3, Quentin's gone.
Fastballs, you're thinking 98 is coming. No, he goes with the off speed. Back to that, back to back. But it's still 90.
The 91-mile-an-hour slider, probably. Will Middlebrooks a single on a foul out. And he had a pretend swing there. It's 0-1. Middlebrooks, 15 home runs as a rookie in 2012, 17 in 2013. He's had some significant injuries since then. It's been a good spring, though, for Middlebrooks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Will hitting .310 with a couple of home runs here in the month of March. 5-2 Colorado. Can Diaz harness that big fastball? It's an uncomfortable at bat.
Yeah, you're not going in there digging in deep. Your spikes, you just barely have them in the ground so you can get out of the way.
Two and two.
I like the low target from Nick.
That ball's lined to the gap in left center field. It'll be cut off by Barnes, but it's going to bring home a run. So Middlebrooks an RBI single, his 8th ribby of the spring. Alonso scores. Jed Jerko, a couple flyouts.
Corey Spangenberg, the new pinch runner at first base, for the base hit by Middlebrooks.
He'll come in and play third. Guy was up last year for the Padres. Almonte at third running for Upton. That throw not going to get Spangenberg. Almonte holding at third. That shoots past Hundley, and Almonte will score 5-4.
That'll go down as a wild pitch. Now you wonder if it was a cross-up.
Yeah, that looked like a cross-up, didn't it?
Well, just the way the glove was positioned. You're thinking it's going to drop down. You have your glove turned over. You're not going to catch a fastball even down with the thumb up.
Huey, you see when he opened up, thank goodness that didn't hit his wrist or his forearm.
Right.
3-1. So both inherited runners have scored. 3-2. One of those categories you look frequently at for relievers that come in with traffic. Started out okay, struck out Quentin, but then he gave up the hit to Middlebrooks when he was ahead in the count. And then you have a stolen base, a wild pitch. Next thing you know, it's a 5-4 game. And he ends up losing Jerko. And at this rate, Diaz is going to use all his bullets here in this inning, and the plan to get him a second inning of work may have to be aborted. Derek Norris will take his turn.
During spring training, you already have tomorrow's pitchers lined up. You know who's going in that game. But you might wanted to bring him back on Sunday. Be with the split squads. Half of them going down to Mexico, the other half at Salt River. And so you don't want to elevate the pitch count too high where he couldn't do that.
You got to like the arm and the stuff of Diaz. Not an easy guy to catch for Nick Hunley, because you don't have the confidence that the ball's going to show up where you put your glove. And when a guy's throwing in the upper 90s, it gets there quickly.
Also,
saw that ball shoot to the backstop a moment ago.
Yeah, and also puts you on the defensive on what pitches you want to call. Do I feel confident that I'm going to throw this and the slider's going to be there, or do I need to just go with the fastball?
2-1. Corey Spangenberg in your picture at third, and did that get him? It did. That's going to load the bases. Norris gets hit, and that'll bring up Amarista.
That's missing by 2 feet.
Steve Foster coming out.
Nobody warming up in the bullpen for Colorado. They bring a couple extra guys up from the minor leagues just in case. Minor league pitchers. Doesn't get to that.
Spangenberg at third, Jerko's at second, Derek Norris at first. And Amarista takes ball 1. Rockies holding a 5-4 lead. They scored 3 in the top half of the 5th, giving a couple back. At a play down the left field line. another foul ball down the left field line and out of play. Ball and 2 strikes, working ahead of Amarista. Everett Cabrera, who had a checkered history with the Padres, some good, some not as good, and then the suspension for PD use and then some other off the field issues, was let go by San Diego in the offseason. Wallin will get to the bag first. That'll end the inning. Couple runs for the Padres as they send 8 to the plate, and they close the gap to within a run. 5-4 as we go to the 6th. Rockies leading 5-4 over San Diego as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Nick Hundley is scheduled to hit first. A few moments ago, Carlos Gonzalez met with some members of the media in the Rockies clubhouse about his early departure.
Well, my legs, I just felt a little fatigued today, and so you know, I tried to play through it a little bit, and then the manager just decided, you know, just take it easy, and it just took me out after my second at bat, and then, you know, tomorrow's another day.
Did it get worse on the throw in from in the 3rd inning?
Well, yeah, when I have to slow down, when I hit the brakes on that fly ball and throw the ball at home plate, you know, that's when you put a lot of pressure on your knees. But you know, nothing major, just one of those things that, you know, with the spring training is alone. You know, we've been on the field since, you know, noon, and we're still working, and so tomorrow's another day. Like I say, we have to show up early and continue to work.
Kevin Quackenbush is now on the hill, so what do you make of Cargo's comments?
I thought the word fatigue was interesting. To me, that's a good sign, because it's just tired. He's right. You go for a month straight, and you're doing all this extra work, doing everything that you can. I know he's here every morning hitting with Blake Doyle at 7 o'clock, 7:20, and then you're out there throughout the day, then you play the game. So let's hope it's just fatigue, that muscle's tired. He says, well, it's not quite right. I didn't hear sore. That's what I didn't hear out of him.
You just want the stability of the knee, because he said his legs were fatigued, and that, you know, you're going to pick apart a statement. And then, you know, he referenced that he had to slow down, and he did have off-season surgery on the knee. Ground ball to short. Amarista's going to throw out Hundley. You just want that to be stable and not to be a lingering issue. And so far in the spring, and not to be an alarmist, so far in the spring it's been fine by all indications. Cargo's running great.
He is, and that's where you hope when he wakes up tomorrow morning that it's okay. It's not sore and painful.
So with one out, this is Jason Langfells. Came in the ball game with a double switch. Played third base. Get some of these changes for you for San Diego. Will Venables in the ball game in right field for Kemp. Here's Will, veteran. Quackenbush, who figures to handle the 8th inning in front of Joaquin Benoit. There's Abraham Almonte.
Left field.
Maben's still in center.
Yes. Trying to decide who has a better beard, Kevin Quackenbush or Dale Thayer from the Padres bullpen.
Thayer.
Thayer.
Good fastball from Quackenbush. Both have good fastballs,
Yes.
I'll tell you that. Yonder V. Solarte is now at first base for Yonder Alonso. There's Solarte, the former Yankee farmhand.
Spangenberg stayed in at third base.
Yep, for Middlebrooks. DJ with a base hit to right. That's his second knock of the ball game. Charlie Blackmon up for the 4th time. Charlie's had a perfect evening. 2 singles and a walk. Scored a couple of runs.
This is Bud Black just matching up. See what his left-hander in the pen is like against the left-handed hitter.
I don't know. He's pushing him back onto the bump. I think Quackenbush thought the same thing you did.
Yeah.
Well, now he's going to take the baseball.
No, because when he came out, he looked down to the bullpen, and I thought I saw him signal, and he did.
Those two guys, are they way over their skis, Huey?
I'm not going to judge, but
I'll judge. They're
I
way
think
over
they
their
are.
They're way over their skis.
Yes.
5-4, the Rockies leading with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Charlie Blackmon's going to face Frank Garces. Frank out of San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic, got 15 ball games with the Padres last year, originally in the Texas Rangers organization. Spent most of the year in San Antonio, the Texas League, where he fashioned a 1.93 ERA. Did some closing there also, as he had 8 saves.
But this is more of a look for Bud Black and what he thinks. Yeah, that's great in Double-A, but now he has to face a guy that was an all-star last year.
Pretty good location on the outside corner with a little giddy up, 0-1.
Originally signed by the Rangers. He was a free agent in 2009.
Ball and a strike. Struck out 74 last year and 65 1/3 with San Antonio. So that always gets your attention.
Late life on the fastball.
He does, and he was not a, this is not to say he won't become a specialist at the big league level, but in San Antonio he wasn't a specialist. I mean, he would oftentimes face inning plus when he was given the baseball.
It'll help with his development. Use more than one pitch, maybe go to a second and even a third pitch doing that.
Charlie leans on one to deep left field, and catch by Almonte got him twisting around. Oh, Goodwood, wow, AB, Goodwood AB, but it results in an out. 5-4. Rockies leading 5-4 over San Diego. Troy Tulowitzki's come out of the ball game, and he's made his way over to Jenny.
Thanks, Drew. You were talking to me earlier today about your approach with James Shields, being new to the division, seeing him more at spring training, kind of that cat and mouse game that you have to play because you don't know what he's working on, he doesn't know what you're working on. But what did you learn about James Shields today?
One thing, he competes. I think I knew that going in, but he's a solid pitcher. He's a great addition for the Padres, and it's going to be a battle for us.
I know every fan out there is watching you. They're excited. You look healthy. I know you feel healthy. Just kind of this point in spring, how do you now manage the next couple of games as we're just about a little over a week away from starting?
Yeah, just go out there and try to have fun, be myself, not try to think too much. When I start thinking, I get myself in trouble. I've had some injuries in my career. We all know that, and through those injuries, it becomes a mental battle for me at times. So the less I can think, the better I am.
Yeah, Cargo had to leave today. He says he's just kind of resting. His knee started to get a little sore. But do you kind of, between the two of you, go, oh no, where's he going? Why is he doing this? This isn't good? Or do you just kind of know that you guys are trying to take care of yourselves the best you can?
I think your guys' reaction whenever maybe we come out early or something like that is we're like that times 20 because this means a lot to us. And you start having those negative thoughts and say, oh no, not again, and you start freaking yourself out, and usually you're okay.
I was going to ask you about Kyle Kendrick on the mound. It looks like if Jorge De La Rosa can't go right away, he's the veteran presence in this starting rotation. What did he kind of show those younger guys today, getting down early, but letting the offense do their work and not getting too disappointed?
Yeah, you said it right. Kyle's professional, veteran pitcher. He's not overpowering. He's going to, induce contact, and we have good defense out there, and he's going to keep us in a lot of ball games.
We talk about health a lot, so I'm just going to leave you with this. As you do approach the season, what's the conversations been like with Walt? Do you have a good game plan in place, or are you still going to kind of wait and finish out spring and see how that's going to go in terms of how you're starting or how often you're starting or when you're resting, those kinds of things?
That's a tough question. We think we have a good game plan, but we've thought we've had a good game plan before, too. It's just a difficult situation. Injuries are never fun. I think the best thing we can do is communicate with each other. When those days are needed, you take them. Not try to be a superhero and play 162 and understand that the team needs you out there. So take your rest days and get a lot out of it.
Day-to-day is a good thing, and I know fans like seeing you in the lineup, so it's always great. Thanks, Troy, so much.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, Jenny, thank you. And I thought it was a very interesting and revealing comment, and that's one thing about Troy. Troy is candid. And he said the opposite of what I thought he was going to say. When Jenny asked him, which was a great question, about when he or Cargo goes out, everybody holds their breath. And I thought he was going to say, you guys sometimes make too much of it. And, he said the opposite. He said, right, when I see Cargo go out, or probably vice versa, because it means so much to us, our concerns 20 times more than what you can imagine.
Right. Both you and I looked at each other and kind of, our eyebrows raised up, because that is true. It's a revealing statement from Troy. He's been honest in his career, but as a player, when you've had some injuries and something goes and you start to feel it, your natural reaction is to think, oh boy, did this happen again? Until you are able to step back and take a deep breath and say, okay, no, I'm still good. It's just part of the process.
I was talking to Pat Burgess, who grew up with Troy, played with him in Fremont, California in high school. It's on one hop to short. The shift was on Venable. And the play is made by Ryan Langfels, 2 outs. And Pat was saying, he obviously is very close with Troy, he's close with Cargo. And he said, those two guys, not only do they push each other and they're inseparable at workouts, playing together and winning together means a lot to both of them, and they need each other.
They feed off each other. I mean, athletes like to compete. That's what you're raised to do. You go out there and compete. Now, when you have somebody that's like-minded, you're going to compete like-minded,
and has the rare skill that you have.
Right.
Now, different positions, I understand, but there aren't many guys that can play in the same league that Troy Tulowitzki can, and Cargo's one of them. To third, Langfels. He's going to set a major league record.
He tied it
at least. All 3 assists in the inning to Ryan Langfels, and a 1-2-3-6 for Ken Roberts. We didn't even get to mention you, Ken. Guy who
Nice
pitched
work.
so well last year in Tulsa, having a good spring. Rockies leading 5-4, top of the 7th inning. Joey Wong's going to hit in Troy Tulowitzki's spot. And let's go to Jenny again. Jenny has a special guest.
Yeah, Drew, Steve Foster, the Rockies pitching coach. We introduced you to fans earlier, and I have to apologize because it was the emotional soundbite. But I wanted them to get the raw feel of who you are. Kind of describe who you found yourself to be in this role day to day.
Well, I just think it's a great role to get to know people and help people be the best that they can be, and it's a great way to work with elite athletes and help them chase their dream and go after a championship. So that's what I find myself doing and why I like it.
And you have a tough job on paper right away because the rotation maybe not as doesn't have the depth that you thought it would coming in. Of course, Jorge De La Rosa, not sure what's going on with him, but Kyle Kendrick might end up being the veteran presence. What did you see from him on the mound, and what have you seen as the days have gone on, as the starts have gone on this spring?
Kyle's a great leader. He has presence in the clubhouse. He has a great way about what he does, going about his business. And this game is a long grind, and you need to have people that have been through the wars. And he's had 7 years in the big leagues on a winning team. So this is a guy that knows how to pitch, knows how to get big league hitters out, and knows how to lead a staff. So while we certainly want Jorge to get back soon, Kyle's done a great job so far and shown his pitchability, and we look forward to competing with him.
Rockies fans have heard for several years about Jonathan Gray. They've seen Eddie Butler a little bit, a little glimpse, but what have you seen? What's been your evaluation of them this spring, and how do you think they've grown based on what you have heard about them from the past?
Well, I think that they're both very young. They're young pitchers, and young pitchers make mistakes. And I've seen both of them pitch wisely, get ahead of hitters, put them away, climb the ladder, pitch down in the dirt, things that, mature pitchers do. And both guys have done that and have competed very well, exactly what we were hoping that they would do. They've come in and done, and we're very pleased. What's
been the overall philosophy? It seems like with the new regime, we've heard altitude's not really being mentioned. It's just more being talked about. We have a home field advantage at Coors Field. We got to take care of business there and take care of business on the road. How is that translated for you with your starters?
Well, I think whatever you are dealt in life, you play the hand you've been dealt, and you stay positive. And I think for us, we know Coors Field's our home field, so let's take advantage of it. And that's the hand we've been dealt. So we're going to be positive, we're going to think positive, and we're going to be better than the other guy. That's what we're teaching, that's what we're preaching. Be better than the other guy that you're pitching against. Don't worry about runs, don't worry about, a bad inning. Be better than the other guy.
Drew Huey, I promised him this is the last time he has to do this in game, so now's your chance. Any burning questions up there? Nope, crickets.
Well,
okay,
no.
he answered them all. No, just kidding.
No, just the relationship that he's already built with Darren out in the bullpen?
Yeah, that's a great question. The relationship that you've built with Darren out in the bullpen, we got a chance to talk to him in game yesterday, and you two seem like you've really, no pun intended, fostered a very nice relationship.
You know what? Darren's got a great feel for pitching. He really understands the mechanics of pitching. He's studied it over the last 5-7 years where he's been out of baseball. And he's just been a tremendous, not only friend and great coach, but mentor. So it's a good relationship. And he has 13 years of pitching in a major league bullpen. So his experience is already paying dividends, and we look forward to it throughout the season.
Well, early on, we appreciate your honesty and your emotion. It's great. So thank you so much for your chance. Oh, I'm sorry. One more question.
How many times have you been called Darren this spring?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we asked Darren how many times he's been called Steve Foster this spring. So how many times have you been called Darren Holmes this spring?
Several from the back. You know, people see us from the back. It's I've been called homie more than once. So I'm just like, just call me homeboy. You're good.
That's right. That's right. Well, people won't mistake you for Renee Latchman, and he's trying to walk through this camera shot right now. So, sir, I will let you. 52 years in baseball. He can do whatever he wants down here in the dugout. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I lost control down here. I don't know what's happening, guys.
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. You always know when Latch is around. Within 6 miles of
it's kind
of wherever you are, you hear Latch.
Yeah, but it's also refreshing that it's just not onto the players that he gives a hard time. It's onto his fellow coaches.
Everybody.
It's okay.
Anybody in his way.
Jenny's done a great job with the interviews tonight. I mean, she always does. But just to get the feel from first Troy and now Foster, Steve, about what it's like. What's his philosophy? He's a new guy. How are you going to approach this?
Tim Wheeler fouls that one off down the left field line. It remains 3-2. Well, he's developing relationships.
Yes.
He's developing trust. Huge spring for him, coming over from the American League, the Kansas City Royals. He's really a hard guy not to like. So the players, I think it's important, they'll gravitate to him, because all players, Huey, you know this, have moments of insecurity. and this game breeds that, right?
Yeah. That just brought back a ton of flashbacks for me. Thanks, Drew.
Yeah. You don't have to be insecure anymore. Guess what? They can't get rid of you again.
You mean I don't have the nightmares at 3 o'clock in the morning about missing a pitch or making an error?
No.
That's over?
It's done.
Okay. Next time it happens, because it still happens occasionally, I'll call you then and let you know.
Please do. Willeen Rosario getting his 4th at bat. Willeen is 0 for 3 officially, but he's driven in a run with a fielder's choice ground out, and he reached on an error and eventually scored. Willeen was in the lineup at first base yesterday against Texas up in Surprise. Got 3 at bats up there. Was 0 for 3, including a line out. Frank Garce's pitch is line foul. Off the seldom used tarp down the right field line.
Where is it? Oh, Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium, they have the tarp down the left field line. Like, really?
Why? Listen, if it rains there, they need the water, so
right, let it go.
Don't put the tarp on the field.
That's how you beat a shift.
Yeah, they had the shift on, and it's punched through the right side. A base hit for Rosario.
Well, a pull shift for the right-handed hitter. Says, I'll beat that.
Brandon Barnes, base hit his last time up, smoked the ball to center field, 1 for 3. For Colorado. James Shields started and had good stuff, but the Rockies were able to run him off after 4 1/3. He hit his pitch count. He threw 95 pitches. And Kyle Kendrick went 4 1/3 for the Rockies. Kendrick gave up 4 runs, 3 earned. Jairo Diaz came on for him and struggled a little bit. Looked like he was going to work out of it. He got a strikeout and he got ahead.
Oh, he struck out quick.
Will Middlebrooks, and then he gave up a base hit, and then there was a walk, a hit batter. That's interesting. He fouled that off twice. That's known on the golf course as a T.C. Chen. Remember when T.C. Chen did that coming out of a bunker?
Oh, he hit it twice?
Yeah. Had to call himself on that.
Is that a two-stroke penalty?
He hit it twice.
I hit it twice out of the bunker. I'm just going to pick it up and toss it on the green.
That's
not
legal.
call it.
That's legal.
Okay. Just when you and I are golfing.
That's right. I got you. Put you down for 4. Got you even through 11, Huey. To short, and that's all for the Rockies in their half of the 7th. Colorado 5 and the Padres 4. Stretch time in Peoria, Arizona. Five 5-4, the Rockies lead the Padres, bottom of the 7th inning. Reminder, the Rockies back in action on Root Sports Sunday. They'll be taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Our coverage begins at 2 o'clock Mountain, right here on Root Sports, your home for Rockies baseball all season long. Yes, they were playing the Village People in the background.
YMCA. Well, that's after the 7th inning stretch.
That's right. Boone Logan's out there now for the Rockies. Second year with Colorado. He had bone chips removed from his elbow more than a year ago, and at times it affected him last year. So he's looking for good health this year and return to the dominance he has exhibited through most of his career from the left side. Matt McBride's at first base for Willeen. And Max White is in left field for Brandon Barnes. Nick Hundley's still behind the plate, though. He's the last man standing of the original starters. El Monte swings at the first pitch. And Cesar Galvez, we forgot to tell everybody that he was in last inning. Our apologies.
You know what? For all these guys that have come up from the minor leagues and they're getting a chance to play tonight, it's a dream come true. I know it's not the big league games and all of that, but still, I remember my first spring training where I came up and I made an appearance in a big league spring training game, and I was wearing number 73. It didn't matter. I was still they were still in.
They could have put 173
Yes.
on you, and you would have had a smile on your
They're
face.
still announcing my name. So congratulations, guys like Max in left field. I mean, this is what it's about.
Let's go downstairs, check in again with Jenny.
Well, you guys are congratulating all these names. I want to congratulate Brandon Barnes. That is a dirty uniform, sir.
Yeah, if I'm not getting dirty, I'm not doing my job.
That's
So.
right. You just told me that. I like that. It's kind of been a spring of change for you. You've been working on your swing a little bit. Kind of just talk us through that progress, where it initiated from, and how you feel it's going.
It's done from last year. Towards the end of the year, I started a leg kick and felt really good, felt really comfortable. Felt like I was able to see the ball more. So I just kind of took that into the off season and watched a lot of video on how guys were approaching me and how they're getting me out. It worked a lot on my mental approach and how I attack at bats and how I go about it.
How hard is it to commit to a change like that and know you're going to go through some bumps in the road and you just kind of work through them if that's the direction you really want to go in, when you're also, out here competing and trying to make one of those roster spots?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be me, and I feel like I finally found myself. And, it's going to come with some bumps early on, but I feel more comfortable than I ever have. I feel like I'm locked in, 99% of my at-bats, and I've hit some balls hard here that haven't fallen. So it's just staying with it and knowing what I'm doing is right, and it's me.
For those people that follow Brandon Barnes on Instagram, you've seen this guy can jump really high. You did a lot of extra plyometrics this offseason, some box jumping. How high can you jump? I have to know. I didn't get the final answer.
I don't even really know. I just kind of stack boxes and jump. I wanted to be more explosive and faster this year and cut down about 10 pounds. So just work on, doing all the little things. I think it's going to help the team of, bunting, being able to steal bases, playing good defense, and just being a pest at the plate.
It was also fun because you guys use social media to call each other out. I noticed that. You called Dickerson out, make sure he's working hard, even though you guys aren't working out together, even in the same state. Hawkins is checking in with you guys, the oldest guy on the team at 42, making sure you're putting your work in. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way this team is. We push each other, and we're such a close-knit group that we're not going to let each other, slack. And, whether it be phone calls or social media, calling guys out, I think this team does a really good job of staying in touch in the offseason and pushing each other.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Jenny, thank you much. Ask him real quick, Jenny, can he jump as high as J.J. Watt?
Can you jump as high as J.J. Watt?
J.J. Watt, I don't even know how high he can jump, but I hope so.
He can jump really high.
I don't know.
Can you jump as high as the Easter Bunny?
Higher.
We can go along all day, but I won't make you, so we'll let you go. Drew?
Jenny, we're going to have one more question for you in a moment.
Oh, my goodness.
Just stand by.
Okay, can't
Just for
wait.
Jenny, though.
Just for Jenny.
Don't ask how high I can jump.
Tommy Medica
JV basketball.
at the plate, and McBride, great stop, won't have a play.
I didn't even get leather on that ball.
Well, Tommy Medica came into the ball game hitting .484, so his average will go up a little bit more. 1 out, 1 on. Corey Spangenberg will take his turn against Boone Logan.
Well, playing off the line, you don't anticipate a right-handed hitter hitting the ball there. You take away the gap between first and second more. Pretty good range from McBride.
One and 0. First at bat for Spangenberg. Ball and a strike. Did you do box jumps back in your day?
A little. Not as much as they do now.
Slowly hit to third. Can the Rockies turn it? There's one. Not going to turn it.
They hit hard enough.
All right, let's watch Brandon Barnes and some video of him doing box jumps. That's at the Rockies facility, yeah. They
I like some of the plyometrics.
Yeah, those are great for you. They have some. I put this in quotes. They're not literally boxes, but they originally were when it started. Now they have them. They look like large stools. They have them high enough that I don't think I could high jump over them.
No, but I'm not sure how high that one was. It looked
4
at
feet.
least, yeah. I was saying
48, maybe a little more.
At least 45.
This is Ramiro Pena. Two 2-0 on Pena, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Rockies 5, Padres 4. And another mishit ball. He was so far out in front, it shaved the top of the bat.
The 5th broken bat we've seen tonight.
We have seen quite a few. Off the plate. Three and one. And you got Pena to chase. 3-2.
Just tell more free and easy from Boone this spring than what he was and how he was throwing last year.
And he got him. Good pitch by Boone Logan. Comes all the way back. Gets Ramiro Pena to end the inning. So we move on to the 8th. The Rockies ahead by a run, 5-4. 5-4 Colorado, top of the 8th inning. Matt McBride's going to face Sean Kelly, and as he does that, we'll go into the Rockies clubhouse and hear from tonight's starter, Kyle Kendrick.
I'm a contact pitcher. Tonight, first couple innings I was, working behind on the count, get your pitch count up. That's why, only threw 4 1/3 or something. I was trying to get to 5, but threw a lot of pitches. Still got the pitch count up early on. Work behind in the hitters. That's what happens. You have to battle back, and cost your pitch count a lot of pitches. But Nick was great tonight. We're on pretty much the same page, and just some contact hits, and all in all, I got it working, which was good.
He knows who he is, and most guys who've been around have had success, understand who they are, and he pitches to contact. He did that tonight. During the regular season, obviously he wouldn't be pulled where he was, but you're still building up arm strength. So it was, a solid outing for Kyle Kendrick. He was not as sharp as he was in his previous outing, but typically when you look up there, you're not going to see big innings against him. He knows how to limit the damage, and he was able to do that this evening, and he has his team out in front. 5-4 in the 8th with 1 out. Nick Hundley 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts, facing Sean Kelly. Came to the Padres from the Yankees. He went to the Yankees from the Mariners for Abraham Almonte, and now Almonte is with the Padres as well. 2-1.
Kelly's another guy. The rotation, bullpen, just stockpiling some arms.
They're still trying to figure out who their guys are going to be down in the bullpen, which is unusual when you talk about San Diego. So they always had a great pen. Got to figure Benoit, Quackenbush naturally, Dale Thayer. They've been staples the last couple of years. Garza's trying to win a job on the left side. Often Bud Black's gone without lefties.
Well, they haven't really had one left-hander since Joe Thatcher a few years back. Just that one guy.
It's interesting because Bud Black, a left-handed pitcher in his career, and there's been many years where he says, "The heck with it, we don't need a lefty to match up."
The righties can get the lefties out.
Another opportunity for Will Venable and right.
Fans, you want to get to the ballpark early on Saturday, April 11th, as the first 20,000 will receive a monthly wall calendar courtesy of us here at Root Sports. Saturday, April 11th.
Jason Langfells, second AB for Langfells, struck out his first time up. Played third base the last few innings. Charlie Blackmon, a couple of hits tonight, couple runs scored, also a walk. Tulo had 3 at bats, went 1 for 3, a base hit, scored a run. Carlos Gonzalez got a couple of hits, a couple of at bats, an RBI ground out. He was 0 for 2, and then he left the game, what he called fatigue in his legs. Rafael Inoa had an RBI double tonight. DJ LeMahieu's got a couple hits, a single and a double. DJ's out of the ball game now. The notable offensive performances tonight for Colorado. Kelly strikes out Langfells, a 1-2-3 8th inning. 5-4 Rockies.
holding on to a 5-4 lead over San Diego. We're joined by the former San Diego Padre, current Rocky, first-year Rocky, in Nick Hundley. Kind of weird to face your old teammate. This was your stomping grounds for so long.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time here. So, it's weird coming on the other side, but at the same time, it's great to be a Rocky and great to compete against them.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to look at their roster. You really didn't play with a lot of these guys. I mean, Will Venable and you grew up together in the organization, but other than that, I mean, a few of the guys maybe, but the core group of guys are gone. I mean, when you take a look at what the Padres did in the offseason, how much better did they get on paper?
Oh, I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, I'm more worried about the Rockies. So but they've obviously done a good job. The whole staff's the same. All those guys I played for Buddy for a long time, so I got a lot of respect for them. But at the same time, you want to go out and you want to beat them.
Well, that's what I mean. Just from a competition standpoint, you got to see some of their lineup tonight. See James Shields on the mound, obviously. When you're facing guys at spring training like this that you're going to be facing in the division, how do you approach it? Do you approach it differently? We were talking to Tulo. Sometimes you don't know what the pitcher's working on. He doesn't know what the hitter's working on. But can you pick up anything?
Oh, for sure. It's great to see those guys. Anytime you get free at bats on guys and get to see balls out of the hand and face guys you're going to face during the year, it's very valuable. So you take it real seriously and go to work.
Obviously for you, Nick, the number one priority coming into spring was getting to know your pitching staff and getting to know them quick. How has that process gone over the course of the last couple weeks? And as we're nearing opening day, where do you feel like you're at?
It's been great. That was the first time I caught Boone out there in the 7th, so in game action. So it's good to get to see those guys. I feel real comfortable with the starters. The bullpen guys are coming along well. So I think we'll be ready to go for sure.
What do you see in Kyle Kendrick? Also a new Rocky. Of course, Rockies fans have seen him in the National League, but when you take a look at what he might be able to add to this team, especially with the uncertainty of Jorge De La Rosa, he's going to have that veteran presence. What did you see from him tonight? What have you seen from him all spring?
Exactly right. The veteran presence is great. He's steady. He knows exactly what he wants to do out there, how to pitch to both sides of the plate. His changeup has been really, really good the last couple starts. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to catch him and have a guy like that with that much experience and that much ability to go out there and start opening day. It's big for us.
Awesome, Nick. Thanks for joining us. We'll let you get out of here. You caught some games or caught some innings, I should say, and it's hot. We get it. Even though it's night, it's hot.
Yeah, anytime, Jenny. I'll stay for you for sure.
Anytime. Oh, that's nice. He said anytime. All right, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Jenny, thank you. Rocky Gale hits a little comebacker, and LaTroy has the first man out in the 8th inning. Here's LaTroy's work this spring. You like when the ERA is 0.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. But for LaTroy, he knows, obviously, after this many years, this being his last, what he needs to accomplish and get through in spring training. You work on different pitches now. St. Patrick's Day was over. I think you have to make that hat. I don't think you could buy it down at the store.
I'm trying to think if I want to purchase a hat like that. Or as you said, if you have to make it, but I'm trying to think of where I would use it.
The occasion to wear it?
It's a little loud to go dine with. If I'm doing some construction, perhaps in the neighborhood, I'd get that. Well, Mike Fox, our producer, has a good idea, or director tonight, actually. If I were to jog at night, I usually jog during the day, but if I were to jog at night, there's my hat.
There you go. Maybe get up early one morning and jog with it on.
Keep the sun off my dome. 3-1 on Alexi Amarista. 3-2 on Alexi Amarista. So he should have a cologne. Alexi Amarista. What are you wearing now? Alexi Amarista. It's the 8th inning. It's March.
Right, it is spring training.
Yeah. A base hit for Amarista.
Might be wondering why LaTroy's in now instead of the 9th inning with the Rockies leading 5-4. Come in and save the game of the night. That's not what Walt is looking for. He's looking to say, okay, I know that Amaris is coming up. Guy that's going to be in the big leagues. Cameron Maben, Will Venable. I want him to face
big league hitters.
Big league hitters.
Yep.
That's why he's in the 8th inning.
Troy announced before the season began that this will be his final year. I don't get it. Only 42. Still throws 95. In all seriousness, though, he's got his daughter at home and teenage daughter. He wants to be back north of Dallas. At home full time.
He faced LaTroy in his first year in the big leagues. He was with Minnesota.
Been around, huh?
Yes. 1 for 4 career off Hawk.
Is that right? Back up the middle, and it's going to sneak through a base hit. So Maben's 1 for 5, 2 on for Will Venable. Venable hits one deep left field, and it is off the glove of Max White. 1 run is scored. Maben around third. He's coming home. He'll score. And the Padres have taken a 6-5 lead. I imagine they'll give Venable a double. That was a tough chance for White.
Just because of how far Max had to run. Goes back all the way to the wall, catches it, does not have time to secure it. You see how it's at the end of his glove, and then when he hit the wall, it popped out. That was so close to being a great catch.
Yangervis Solarte. And he takes a strike. That's on the corner for a strike. That's off the plate. 3-2. To the right side for a base hit. Coming home is Venable. He'll score. And it's 7-5, San Diego.
Fans opening day rooftop and rock pile tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. That's right, tomorrow 10 a.m. Parking lots open at 8 a.m. with wristband distribution starting at 9:30. There'll also be a rooftop party from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. with drink specials. So come watch the NCAA tournament, win Rockies opening weekend tickets and other prizes. So 10 a.m. tomorrow, they go on sale. Parking lots open at 8. Wristband distribution starting at 9:30.
Rockies can't turn it over on El Monte. 2 outs. Tommy Medico will hit again. He had an infield hit his first time up. Medico played left field and first base last year for the Padres. Big sturdy guy out of Santa Clara. That's at the top of the strike zone.
What a batting title for the West Coast Conference. 373 in 2007.
Just inside. That'll end the inning, but the Padres come up with 3 runs on 4 hits against Detroit, and they have taken a 7-5 lead as we go to the 9th. 7-5 San Diego as we go to the 9th inning. Time for our CenturyLink What's Next? What's next? The Rockies will take on the Cubs in Mesa tomorrow. No television. We're back on the air on Sunday when the Rockies take on the Diamondbacks from Salt River Field at Talking Stick. And then the final week of spring training, the Rockies will take on the A's, the Giants, the Rangers, an off day on Thursday, and then it's Seattle twice. And then it's on to Milwaukee for the real thing. And that's when we'll pick up our coverage again naturally. April the 6th, hour-long pregame show, and we'll roll into the 2015 season for the Colorado Rockies. Brandon Maurer is in the ball game to throw the 9th inning. And at the plate is Cesar Galvez for the Rockies. That's a strike. 1-2.
Maurer, another arm that the Padres are looking at. If he doesn't make it, provide some depth down in. Oh,
did he make that catch? Maybe it did. That's a great grab.
My.
Takes a hit away from Galvez.
At minimum, a single, but probably a double if it skips by a triple.
Wilson Soriano will swing the bat here with 1 out. That's got a good arm, Maurer.
It does. This looks heavy from this angle. Part of the Seth Smith trade. Back on December 30th.
Two hops to second, and that is out number 2 in the 9th. And it'll be left to Joey Wong. Joey bounced to short his first time up after coming in for Tulowitzki. Troy again 1 for 3 tonight. Two-strike count on Joey Wong. Shook off 3 pitches. And this is shot toward third. That's a nice play, and that'll end the ball game. Good play by Spangenberg. And San Diego prevails tonight and come from behind fashion 7-5 over the Rockies. They had 14 hits to the Rockies 9. A couple errors for San Diego, 1 for Colorado. 7-5 is the final. When we return to Peoria, we'll hear from Walt Weiss.